So it's about dinner time when everyone gets back to the giant rats.
So
Does anyone want to meet up with Valnir and give him his stuff and catch him up?
Oh, yeah, actually, I have his hand wraps, so I will meet up with Valnir first, drop him off the cloth, and tell him what it does, and then go help make dinner.
Okay.
I
Let me
already
find
erased it
out
from my
that
equipment
my
section.
pen is on. Arathor uh, basically was finishing up dinner. After he's done helping out cooking, he takes a bowl for himself before everyone else starts getting their food. And Arathor, the gnome, sits over by a table that he has with a bunch of scrolls of parchment over it.
Alright, I would like to grab a small uh, set of food and. Excuse me, may I sit with you today? And I'm talking to Arathor.
So you are approaching Arathor to talk to him.
Yes,
I'm gonna follow, if that's fine.
that's perfectly fine with me.
Sure thing.
I might as well since I haven't seen my party all day.
Same.
So you approach Arathor, and he seems to be constructing blueprints to make a ship. But the ship seems odd. It's sort of encased, almost like a giant bullet of some sort. And he looks up and says, "Oh, sorry, didn't notice you there. What do you say?"
May I sit with you?
He says, Sure. Just don't get any of your food on any of the papers. I'm working on a bunch of stuff here, and I'd appreciate, you keeping your mess off it."
I completely understand.
Very much for seeds. I don't quite know what they are, but we'll plant them and see if anything good comes up, and we have a bunch of space to plant that we haven't been able to use, just due to the lack of crops to plant. So, thank you. Huh.
So,
So,
oh, yeah. It looks like you're doing some very interesting work. What were you before you got taken away?
so I actually was I actually was an archaeologist. I used to study some runes that uh, were quite interesting, but I found a couple of designs in it, and I was trying to find out more about how these different ancient machines worked, and came to here after uh, starting an expedition to start researching the history of these isles. And then while researching, unfortunately, slavers came. They enslaved me, killed most of the people I was working with, but then we managed to escape during a storm. The boat crashed nearby, and we had set up camp.
So, would you mind sharing on anything that you've learned so far?
So he unfurls some of his uh, papers, and he says, So there's a couple of things that I've learned about the Isles. They had some very interesting ways of getting around. There was a footbridge, uh, apparently, between all of the islands, but I have no idea if that is still around to this day or not. And then,
I'll interject. We know of at least one of them still works.
what do you
And
mean one of them still works?
we came from another island based off that footbridge.
So, text, I should be able to write a key to translate it into a more modern text.
So he said common, correct?
Yes, he said
Okay.
common.
Just making sure.
Mhm. And it's like, the reason I believe it's changed, one, anything ancient always gets changed a little bit over time. And uh, lastly, it seems like the islands were a huge influence upon trade uh, before they were sunk. So maybe Common was just the connecting language amongst all of them, and people had adopted the Isles language as common. Certainly makes it easy to uh, speak the language of what was at the time essentially a superpower in both technology and the arcane arts. It's like, so I was actually trying to recreate one of the designs I saw. Apparently, it was a ship meant not only to go on the waves, but under them as well. But uh, unfortunately, I don't know how all of it works, so I'm trying to figure it out. If they figured it out, surely I could. Especially since uh, I know it's been done before. And this should allow us to actually leave the islands and not have to deal with all these spontaneous storms we've been having recently.
Have we experienced any of those storms?
Yes, you experienced the storm
That crashed
it,
us.
Oh, that crash. Okay.
in the very
Gotcha.
first session. There was a storm that shipwrecked you.
Gotcha.
I'll put storm in quotation marks for now.
Mhm.
So, did you get any understanding on any of their worship or what they believed in?
So I uh, honestly I cannot say anything about what they worshipped, but it seemed like there was a Queen of the Isles, who was a uh, masterful sorceress, and apparently the legends say, from folklore, and I can't find anything to dispute this, that supposedly she consorted with devils or demons or some otherworldly beings, and the gods saw fit to sink the kingdoms because of it. So, of course, there's always more to the story than just that, but that's all I could uh, get for information before I got enslaved.
Nothing about other creatures?
Like, I wish I could give you more information on that. However, uh, what I could keep of my notes was at our last campsite, and unfortunately, that was overrun by monsters uh, a while back before we relocated here. Maybe I could give you a bit more information. Alas, I cannot recall much else.
Was there other equipment left at that camp too?
Oh yes, we had a couple of buildings set up, and we even had a dock built, and we're starting to get a ship built as well, at least for travel between the islands, before we got forced out of there.
And
Unfortunately, unfortunately, we couldn't take much with us when we relocated here.
so that's on the island south of here.
Yes, it was a nice hidden cove that was hidden not only from the weather and from the rougher waves, but uh, it was very hard to spot, say for a massive, uh, like a massive shield that used to be part of a statue that seems to have fallen down and blocked off part of it. It's really the only thing that gives it away from the uh, ocean.
Speaking of those shields, have you done any studying on those shields?
Yes, from what I could tell, they're made from a dragon, but not any type of dragon that I've ever uh, known to have existed before. It's odd. It seems to react negatively with magic, almost as if it sort of tries to uh, fight against magic or eat it or something. But uh, one time we tried to ask uh, a person of faith to see if their god could tell them more, and but it seems to react even more negatively to divine magic, and we stopped trying to figure that out once it proved to be a bit too dangerous to continue.
Do you remember what god that divine magic was used on?
I believe uh, our I believe they were a worshiper of Palor. However, uh, I would highly advise against using divine magic. Uh, out like I'm not sure if he was a full-on cleric or just a clergyman, but the backlash from trying to use his magic caused him to get an infection upon uh, the wounds that he sustained, and he passed away shortly after.
Oh, That's crazy.
Well, that's a good reason to not do that. Thank you.
But I hear that you guys are quite accomplished adventurers, and I hear
Get
that
around.
your delve into that crypt uh, that was found uh, proves your competence. Maybe you could reclaim the camp, and I could get my notes, and we could at least get a ship for you guys to go from uh, island to island. Uh,
Okay.
and yeah, and if
So,
you happen to come across any notes or books or anything, I would gladly take them to and share the knowledge within with you.
all right. So, did you notice any of those shields on this island?
Subject.
Unfortunately,
You're
I
useless.
haven't noticed any of the shields. I've generally been staying at the camp and directing uh, work and managing what we currently have to help build up and hopefully eventually be able to leave this island permanently. But uh, a couple of my scouts have noted spotting statues holding those shields at night, but the islands are not safe at night, so we rarely venture out
Huh.
during it.
Okay. All right. How long does it take to traverse this island?
Hmm. To walk around the entire uh, edge of it, it would take roughly, I want to say maybe, uh, hmm, I'd say about a day, maybe three-fourths of a day. Then again, you guys have longer legs than me.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
True, true.
We have someone to carry you, Shrill, if needed. But actually, thank you for that, and I eat my meal, and I am done with the interrogation for the night. So after we eat, I kind of just will wait. I kind of need to rest to heal up. I am just over half HP. Um, but it
Ask
would.
ask dude if they have any clergy
Yep.
on the thing and see if we can just get healed that way.
So is there anyone that has healing properties here?
Unfortunately, we do not have any people uh, of
Rip.
any faith here.
No. That stinks, but that's okay. Um, so yeah, I have a funny feeling we need to go exploring on the south end at night, but I would like it not to be tonight. Especially since I need a full rest to reset my luck and my AC.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell Joseph about that.
Yeah.
Those bracers of luck, they give +1 to AC, and then they magically give another +1 to AC. But you can give up that +1 to AC in order to basically experience a burst of luck, which allows any one die to be re-rolled before the result is told.
Hmm. Interesting.
But once I use that, it requires a long rest to recover, and I lose that bonus AC.
Yep.
Well, I'm eager to get going, but if you need a rest, I guess I can wait a little longer. I didn't get to have all the excitement and adventure y'all did since you slept in.
I was tired and I paid for it.
I'm gonna shrug and big wide smile at him.
Yeah, you keep on grinning. You'll miss me when I'm not there, though, I'm sure.
Speaking of missing you, where's that barrel?
Yeah, you'd like some of that, wouldn't you? I suppose you brought me back these things, pointing at the hand wraps. I guess I could share a little. I pull it out and fill them up.
I will break out the lute and start rumming a tune.
Okay. Roll performance.
Yes. And boom! Let's do it.
Okay. You perform. Are you going for something happy or something sad or something just relaxing?
Something happy.
Okay. You string out a jaunty little tune.
Okay.
Okay. And you guys are going to rest up for the night before heading out.
Yep.
Okay. Just so that way we can keep things going, I'm just gonna have you guys fully heal overnight instead of just saying you guys spend a couple of days here. And then you guys wanted to explore the island.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be wisest of us to explore the island starting at dusk, going to the night.
I mean,
Okay.
dude did say that fighting it or the island at night is kind of sketchy, but hey, we can do it. I trust in you and our new tank. So
Okay. You have been warned.
Well, yeah, I know. The only problem is we can do the search, at least the southern part during the day, and see if we find a magic footbridge, but they have not been able to find it without it, and I don't know how we're going to get to the other island without it.
Well, maybe you could ask how they got to this island.
You know what? Let's do that.
Okay, are you going to do that in the middle of the night or wait till tomorrow?
The morning.
Why? Don't you want to have a little sense of adventure? We don't need to know that. We can go figure it out for ourselves.
we could. Now, this is just me spitballing here. We could go ask one of the night watchmen who's still awake if they know how they got over here and can give us a clue that way. That's just me spitballing. I don't want to throw anything out there that's untoward, unnecessary, but just an idea.
Well, we could do that too.
Well, you guys are the players, so you tell me what you've decided to do.
Why don't we do that?
Okay. We'll find a night guard and ask them if they could tell us exactly how they came over to this island from the other island.
We should also ask the mute warrior what he thinks we should do.
So,
It's not a
you
war.
find
He's a rogue.
If he's got armor of the hero on, he's a warrior now.
Well, yes,
Hero.
he's a low HP hero.
I mean, he
Just
has a
walk
bit of
around with my
damage
chest puffed
reduction.
out.
Trying to show off your brazier.
Ass chaps.
Why are you dummy thick?
No,
He is now.
He thinks he is.
So dummy thick. So, let's see. Moving on, you've talked to one of the guards and asked how they came over here. They said they went to the easternmost tip where the two islands are closest to each other and tried to swim across. Unfortunately, there was a very strong current, and they washed up along the southwestern tip of the island that they're currently on.
Maybe we can find a land bridge like we did before?
Well, that's why I was thinking in the evening.
Well, it's just getting evening now, so we can still make it if we want to try that.
But then you guys don't get the
We need to rest
healing
first.
over.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're doing that, then we might as well just rest and go to the next day.
Yep. At this point, that's what we're gonna do. How long does it take us? Unless if we don't have anything, let's assume we're back in the morning.
Okay. So you guys sleep till morning. I'm assuming you guys shared your barrel of infinite ale with dinner at least. You know, getting pretty popular. So,
I mean, if they're providing me the food, I suppose I can provide them the drink.
mhm.
Should we off that the barrel is not infinite and that there's a finite number so that they don't, hey, let's see if we can take that from those guys. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing this out there.
Like,
And I don't think we announced this like, hey, break out the infinite ale. It's just like, hey, get the barrel. So
they just know that you've been sharing what ale that you have.
They
Right.
just don't know it flows more freely than the water in the sea.
Hey, they don't know how it got there. They're just happy to have it.
We gave them something special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of them haven't had tasted a drink besides fetid water in quite some time.
So what you're saying is, I could probably procure supplies without using coin in exchange for more ale.
Or you could ask someone like me who to help you out with that, but I think that would be a distinct possibility.
Maybe. Who knows? They had to have gotten their weapons that they have somehow. Maybe you could even give some work or something like that for and pay them an ale. That's up to you guys.
That's another venture for another time. Right now, we are awake in the next day, and I'm ready for us to get a move on searching this island.
Okay. So you guys start exploring the island during the day. You notice that there's a sandy beach on the northern end, which leads into this marsh area that you're currently in. And the marsh slowly turns into a forest. And then there seems to have been like a mountain range that's quite weathered down. And it leads to cliff with winding, jagged paths up and down. And on the other side of the channel, you can see similar cliffs with, it sloping down sort of so that the lowest point tends to be the most northeastern tip, right over about there. So that's probably where they came off the island, the southern island, to head towards the northern island. The mountains seem to be made of stone that matches on both islands.
Well, how about we start here and walk our way down the end to at least here? What do you guys think?
Yeah, that
You
sounds
want to
fair.
go? You make your way over to the trees, and once you get far enough into the trees, you get to uh, a place where the ground is less marshy and more just dirt, and you can walk a bit more freely, knock the mud off your boots as you make your way to the mountainous edges. You guys make it to the edge of the forest, and where the mountains, right about there without any issues. But then the mountainous path gets a bit treacherous.
Shall we continue?
Can we get up the treacherous mountain-ish land?
Roll a climb check or a tumble check. Everyone except for Rin, who happens to have the set of the hero.
What are we making a check for?
Climb or tumble?
Or acrobatics if you prefer, and have any of those to go up the treacherous trail.
I'll just hop around like Legolas and say, "Hey guys, go."
Can you roll more than one at one time?
Yeah, if you click fast enough, you can roll like 7 or 10.
Rin has no problems. Everyone else has. Valnir also has no problems navigating the path. Shellracket and Utmo, unfortunately, you're not having the best time, and it's a
I got an
struggle
idea.
to.
I have a crazy idea. I'm gonna love every second of this. How high is this wall face, like this cliff?
It's not really like cliff face so much as there's a bunch of jagged rocks everywhere, and some of them are loose, some of them aren't. But it goes up the mountainside at a pretty steep angle, maybe like about 20 to 25 degrees. If you're hitching back and forth, switching up, going up the mountain. However, the overall grade of the mountain seems to be about 40 degrees.
Okay. I am going to cast a spell on my boots. However, I think, yeah, I'm gonna cast a spell on my boots, but I'm gonna try and do something really stupid here. I'm gonna use that link right there I put in the game chat. Because I'm going to use the wand to cast a spell one level higher than me. That spell will be this one. I'm gonna cast Bouncing Jelly Boots on my boots. I'm gonna cover the touched creature, like my feet, with a layer of jelly. Jelly boots are going to allow me to make great jumps, not limited by height and weight, and grant a plus 15 bonus to jump checks. And I can move increased by 10 feet.
Is this a spell you know? Because the
Yeah.
wand doesn't let you cast spells, more spells of a higher level that you don't know. It
I
just
know
allows
this
you
spell. This is the only
Okay.
level 2 spell that I know.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
So I'm going to use the wand. It's going to surge. I need to roll a d20 to see if my surge happens normal. On a 1, it does a surge.
Yeah. So
Okay.
on a 1, it would do a double surge.
All right. So I'm doing a bouncing jelly boots. It's going to last 1 round per level. I am level 4, so it's going to last for 5 rounds. So what is that? 50 minute or
50
minutes?
minutes.
5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah.
A
1 round
round
is
is about 6 seconds, so half a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
because 10
so
rounds is.
I'm going to attempt to cast this spell and jump my way up the cliff. I can move 50 or 40 feet because I can normally move 30 feet. So I'm going to move 40 feet jumping my way up this cliff. And I get a plus 15 to my jump check. However, because I'm using the wand, I will get a surge. So here we go. This is what we live for. The day and age. 37 on this chart. 1d6 flumps controlled by the DM appear in unoccupied spaces within 60 feet of you and are frightened of you. They vanish after 1 minute. So there will be 1d6 flumps that will be controlled by Catbat that appear. Boots have been covered. I will now attempt to make my jump with a plus 15. So 25
so
is
you
my
can-
jump check.
Okay, you managed to jump your way up the mountain to the top while a gaggle of these jellyfish-like creatures appear. See you. Scream in telepathically in horror and start running away from you down into the forest.
This is what they look like.
Yeah, that's
Let
a
me just...
interesting thing, but I'll just keep on walking up slowly.
All right, that wasn't nearly as dangerous as I thought it was.
So Shellracket is the first one to the top of the mountain, and he's able to see the other island down to the south and far off to the east. He can see another island, and there seems to be smoke rising up from the island to the east. The island to the east is about the same amount of distance away from the first island that you guys were on to this one through the coral bridge that you.
There's another island over to the east with smoke coming
Yeah,
up from it.
I got that part. He was talking about a coral bridge.
The bridge that you guys took to get from the first island to the second island.
Yeah.
It was called like the Coral Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That amount of distance is about the distance from the island you're on to the island over to the east. So basically, about 8 to 10 hours of walking.
So we've spent 10 hours to get to.
You guys have been working through it. I wouldn't say you guys have spent 10 hours. Probably maybe like 3 or 4.
So it's roughly high noon.
Yeah, you've been having some trouble actually. You guys have been taking like the uneven terrain and things like that. And Shellracket's the first to the top of the mountain.
Well, I was going to say, at this point, let us just know when we're all up there, or...
Ren is the second one to make it to the top of the mountain, and then Valnir and Eltumal make up the rear.
look at my rear.
Okay, so
Can
you
we
guys,
do a search and see if we can find anything odd, out of the ordinary? You know, either going to the island here or to the island that's off the side.
roll a search check.
And anyone who rolls a search check is +1. 13 for me.
Okay.
What are we searching for now?
I'm just searching for anything odd, either here or here. Well, Rin is at 30.
30. See anything?
Okay, so Utmal and Shillracket don't find anything of note. Valnir notices that the rocks on the mountain aren't all jagged. Some of them seem to be quite smooth, as if they were cut and then weathered down over time on the mountain. And Rin notices what could be a pathway down, seemingly along the cliff face of the mountain, and watching the ocean, he notices that while it looks like there's a strong current that goes between the two islands, it seems to have some places where the current is less wide than others. Maybe if you all wanted to swim across, you could find a way to get over there without getting swept away too much.
Maybe a swimming channel between the island.
Yeah,
I
that's.
don't know about you guys, but I don't do very well in water.
I would offer you to carry you, but you need to hold your breath, and I'm not sure you can hold it that long. My idea is I just walk the path as long as it's not too deep under the water and just walk to the other side.
So, if you guys go down the path, you find a small little beach in which you guys can chill by the waves for a bit while you guys decide what you're going to do.
So where exactly are we on the map?
So you guys are, there is a small little beach over here.
Is there any way for me to determine how deep that line is, approximately?
Let's see. Would you have some sort, well, you took profession sailor, right?
Yep.
You can roll that to try and judge it as best you can.
Alright. Dang
Pull out
it.
a long sword and see if I can hit bottom with it.
Okay, you're taking out a longsword and you're trying to stab the sand.
No, stab the water.
Water is so deep.
Okay, you're stabbing the water. Roll the hit.
He's not actually attacking it. He's just trying to put his sword down to see how far down it goes.
Right.
Well, it seems to go drop off pretty steeply, and as you go, you can't really tell much after you go a few feet into the water.
I let go of the sword.
And Utmal, unfortunately, you know that the waves are able to hide a lot of secrets. You don't really see any eddies that would show any rocks near the surface. So, unfortunately, you can't make out much information.
Yeah.
You would have to get under the waves.
What about coral?
You're looking for coral.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, you do not see any coral here. However, you can roll a spot check to try and see if you can spot some elsewhere.
Spot checking.
I see nothing. And by nothing, I mean I've gone blind. I think I was looking at the sun too long.
I get +1 on this. I did not stare at the sun.
It's okay, we all know you really wanted to.
God, everybody wants to look at the sun. Hey guys, look at that bright thing over there.
Well, it seems like you guys are going to have to figure out your own solution.
Valnir, I didn't mean literally look at the sun with me, but okay. I guess we're looking at the sun bros.
Okay.
Praise the sun!
Pretty much.
Shellracket and Valnir look at the sun a bit too long, and you get the little floaters in your eye, and you're just gonna both take a -1 to spot checks for the next half hour.
Rip.
Praise the sun!
Thank you, Lou. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll swim across the or actually, before I do that, just tell Rin to wait, and I will walk into the water for 20 or 30 feet.
Okay. As you walk into the water is quite cold. It gives you a shiver down your spine, and then as you get further into the water, this black scale that you have seems to emanate some warmth, keeping you from getting too cold as you go deeper into deeper down into the crevice between the two islands.
How far is the two islands roughly in length?
You estimate it would take maybe I want to say half an hour to 45 minutes to swim across it. And as you are looking, you notice what seems to be a tunnel with a couple of stones fallen out down at the bottom. It's about maybe 10-15 feet under the water, you guess, and it seems to run along the bottom of the crevice as far as you can see.
So the tunnel itself, and it's underwater?
Yes.
Can I go into said tunnel?
Yes, you go in. So, you go into the tunnel. It seems to have an opening before the current, and the tunnel leads. There's a tunnel with air leading back up towards the island you came from, but the rest of the tunnel down the other way seems to be full of water.
So if it would look like that everyone else would still be able to breathe and use the tunnel if they dive in?
There's a pocket of air leading back towards the island that you came from, but to go further, you would have to either find pockets of air as you swim through it, or you would have to use some sort of spell to be able to breathe water, if you want to use that.
All right.
That's not anything I know.
So I'll walk back, and would you guys be okay if I search out? I found a tunnel. Let me take a check to see if there is enough air pockets for you guys, and if so, I will be back within 2 hours.
Go enough and notice.
Talking, I can't see anything but a bright light.
I could breathe underwater, so if I can find a way for you guys not to swim, or at least in something that doesn't have any potential of being swept away, I think waiting for an hour or two might be the best. I show Rin, but and you should be able to get to the first one. So I pointed. I literally go walk and just wave my arms.
Okay, so I see the missing gem sockets, right?
You see the holes in the tunnel.
Holes.
Yes, there's a giant stone tunnel that seems to be going along the length of the crevice.
Or if you guys want, you could join me too. As I say, I'm A-okay walking through this tunnel.
Now you can check it out. Did you have water breathing?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and check it.
All right. I walk through the tunnel.
Okay. As you walk through the tunnel, there is a bunch of seaweed as you go through it. And and you don't seem to encounter anything along it. While there are pockets of stale air here and there, you don't think that it would be breathable as you get to the other side. But you notice that the tunnel goes further in, and you eventually find yourself in a small room with a rotted wooden ladder leading up. And you see a whole bunch of plants within some sort of, I'd say, pool of water that seems to be broken on one side, but the plants have overgrown it as if it has been untended for years.
I try to go through that that area.
It seems to be just a room, and the only way out is the tunnel or the ladder that you can see seems to have been quite rotten.
Then I go up that ladder or swim up the ladder, or is the room itself got air?
The room itself has air, and there's pools. It looks like there was a area where there was a man-made pool that was originally there to grow the plants.
Oh, okay. Can I search the... I'm going to search the area.
Okay.
+1. God, with the sun.
You find some pieces of glass here and there that look like they used to have been part of a wine bottle at some point in time. You guess maybe this was a wine cellar at one point. And yeah, if you're going to try and climb the ladder, I would like a reflex check.
Okay. I am going to attempt. But with the way I've been rolling, that is a
When
bad
the GM
decision.
says roll a reflex check, you say, well, then I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, well. Sweet.
Then you lose your sense of adventure.
As you climb up the ladder, it breaks under your weight.
Yeah, that was a duh
Lose some
statement.
weight, fatty.
I'm big boned. Literally. I'm
They're
actually.
not there to actually taunt you.
I know.
I mean, in his head, he can hear so.
Damn it, that burrito. All right.
Roll to find out if Shilracket is secretly an illithid.
Let's see
Kill it
here.
with fire, right?
But let's see. So there's nothing else in here, and we are there. Grab the plant and put it into my bag.
Okay. Do you have knowledge nature?
I do not think so. Oh my god, I do.
Okay.
Yeah!
So, you notice these plants, they happen to have weird shaped bulges and a really thick skin. Piercing one of the bulbs causes a whoosh of air and almost a high-pitched squeal to appear, but you know that these plants, you could actually use them to give someone a bit of air underwater if they pierce it and then suck on the air out. It tends to store the oxygen-rich air in those tight bulbs, and you're able to collect enough for what you think would get the rest of the party across the tunnel.
Woo!
Cool.
Go nature check.
That was clutch.
I have been rolling like garbage until that. All right,
That was
so
a good roll.
yeah. All right, now I guess I'm gonna go back to the group with the bulges in hand.
The bulge.
The bulbs. Okay. Are you going to continue the tunnel up towards everyone, or are you going to go out of the hole that you went into?
There's a difference.
So, long story short is you came into the tunnels from the outside through a hole, and then you never followed it fully the other direction.
In all honesty, so how much time has passed?
It took you 45 minutes to get across, and then you spent
See.
about 5 minutes picking plants and another minute breaking a ladder.
Yeah, that was the best minute of my life. All right. And if I continue along the way, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to walk my way back to the party.
Okay, so you're not exploring the rest of the tunnel the other way, you're just going to go out where you came into the tunnels and back up to the group.
No, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go back and I'm going to explore the rest of the tunnel.
Okay.
You know what?
You continue down and you find a small staircase at the other end, sort of like it was a hidden exit to a building of some sort. And you find a small little alcove where it looks like someone could hang a couple of clothes. And I'm gonna have you roll a search check before I describe what else you see.
+1. Hey, 18! This darkness suits me.
You find, which didn't require the search check, a cloak that seems to have fallen to the floor. Amongst the cloak around it, you find bits of dirt that tell the tale of a couple of other objects having been there before rotting away. It's been so long that the all you can tell is a discoloration on the floor of the other item that were there before they rotted, and the cloak seems to be dusty but fine.
I'll take the cloak.
Okay. And then, are you going to go back to the group the normal way, or up the stair? The way you came into the tunnel, or are you going to go up the stairs?
Oh, I'm gonna go up the stairs.
Okay. You go up the stairs, and you find what seems to be a metal, a metal. What are they called? A metal wheel with spokes all around it that looks like it would fit in being attached to a drawbridge of some sort.
Is it heavy?
It has an axle that goes into the wall nearby, and you can't pull the axle out. If you try to spin it, it spins one way until, and you hear a bit of clanking until it seems to pull out all the slack, and then you can start turning it more with a bit of effort.
Then let me do that and keep turning.
Okay. As you turn it, the rest of the party and you notice a piece of stone that seems to slide out from the rest of the cliff face behind you guys. There's no mechanism on the outside to have opened said doorway. It seems like that was the only way to open this.
Alright, so are they now can they see me or
The doorway is open, you can see each other.
well hello.
I'm gonna smile and wave with this awkward "what the heck is this" look on my face.
I guess I come bearing gifts, and I give them each the plants and tell them that these can be used to capture breath underwater. So these each hold some air. You just need to break it to breathe underwater, and then you can take a breath in, and then continue underwater.
Yeah. I'm gonna push past him and go through the door he just opened because I want to go look in and how he opened it.
Okay. You're able to find the mechanism that was used to open the door.
Does it turn the other way?
It turns the other way.
And I shut the door.
As you turn it the other way, you let out the slack from the chain, and anyone else who wants to can try to push the door open to keep it from closing.
I will push the door open.
So you manage to keep the door open. It's not much heavier than using the wheel in order to open it, but it does take some effort.
I'll turn the wheel back the direction to open it.
Okay. So you open the door fully again.
Yeah. I'm just really curious about stuff like this.
Okay.
I also asked Shrill, does this cloak, or do I see anything of interest on this cloak?
There seems to be Uh, so, it appears to be made of leather, and you can't tell anything else about it. The leather seems to be a dark blue, almost grayish color.
Are you showing me the thing?
Yes.
I'm gonna take a look at it and see if there's any etchings, markings, or runes on any of the pieces or parcels of this thing.
It seems to be a well-crafted cloak.
I'm gonna look over. I'm gonna look at Ultimal. I'm assuming you want me to check to see if this has any kind of properties of the arcane or divine type.
Please.
I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
1 sec.
You notice that it has moderate transmutation. You can see an aura of transmutation. You'd say it's pretty moderate in strength, but you can't quite make out what it is or
Can I
what
use-
it's supposed.
Can I use my knowledge in Arcana to understand the properties of this magical element that I see?
Yes, you can roll.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a couple of hunches of what it could be. However, given the circumstances, you think it might be a cloak of the manta ray. A cloak of the manta ray would appear to be made of leather until the wearer enters salt water, at which time it will adhere to the individual and they will appear nearly identical to a manta ray as per the polymorph spell, except that it only allows manta ray form, and you'll gain +3 natural armor bonus, the ability to breathe underwater, and a swimming speed of 60 feet like a real manta ray while in salt water.
Can I test this for a moment? I'm asking Ultimal since he's the one that found it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna put it on.
Okay, you put it on.
I'm gonna go back outside. I'm gonna stand at the beach. And I'm gonna take a running start and run right into the water and then jump in. Yeehaw!
Okay, roll jump.
Don't roll one.
Okay, you put on the cloak, you run, you jump too early, you hit the beach, you roll, and then you fall face first into the salt water in about ankle-high water, and you start to change into a manta ray as the cloak adheres to you.
Can I try and get out of the water as quickly as I can?
Okay, you try to shimmy up onto the beach. It's a pretty steep beach, but you manage to do so after a bit, and the sun's rays dry off the cloak, and you turn back to normal.
Man, that was embarrassing.
That was smooth, Shrill. Smooth.
Well, that didn't go as planned.
Or did it go exactly as planned?
Well, I don't need it, so you may keep it, Shrill, especially after that performance of a lifetime.
I got a -2, so my total was a -1.
I will say at this point, only Shill Racket knows exactly what it is.
I'll walk back over to the group after everything's dried off and I'm good. Well, I know what it does. I wasn't happy with the results, but I know what it does, and I'm okay with it.
How was your bath?
I'm gonna hand the whatever water, air, bulge thing that I was handed. I'm gonna hand that over to somebody else. I'll hand it over to Rin. He might not need it, but he can have it.
Okay.
Have my bulge, Archaic. Have my bulge. All of it.
Grab your bulge.
Make sure you put that bulge to your mouth.
So, with the timing here, it's around what? 1, 2 o'clock? Or.
It's about 2 o'clock.
Okay. Shall we go and try to cross the sea? Well, I could just keep going underwater. It's up to you guys how you want to traverse.
Well, I have the cloak, so I'm good to traverse. I can go across the water, no problem. And the other two have those breathing apparatus. I say let's do it.
All right.
I will trudge into the water, following Eltumal, who is gonna probably walk there.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys are able to make it across the channel, and you find yourselves within that wine cellar with a broken ladder.
Oh, did we cross through the wine cellar, or did we go up onto the surface and just cross the channel swimming?
So crossing the channel, you have the current to deal with.
Okay.
But right now, I opened the door so that a good portion, some of that portion has been nullified with the tunnel that I found.
If you guys take the tunnel, you'll wind up on the other side in the wine cellar at the very end of the tunnel.
And so that eliminates some of the underwater passage that we have to go through.
Unfortunately, if you wanted to get to the other side and not be in the wine cellar, you'd have to backtrack to find a portion that was caved in, so that way there was a break in the tunnel, and then you might or might not have to deal with the current on your way to the beach.
I think we're good. We can go the easier route.
Yeah.
Which is the easier route?
Well, if we go through the tunnel until the break, we still theoretically traveled with less current going through.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to... So you're saying that's the easier route, so everyone's going to need a swim check after that.
Okay. Even the manta ray goblin?
No, you have a swimming speed.
Okay. I will jump in the water, turn into a manta, and off we go.
Okay, you're able to make it to the other side, to the beach.
I'm gonna go over by Bran, and I'm gonna flappy and go glug glug.
Okay.
And I've got 13 for swim check, and I can breathe underwater.
Okay.
How big of a manta ray am I? Am I goblin sized, or do I actually grow into a large manta ray?
You are goblin sized.
Okay. I'm just curious as if somebody can like grab a hold of like above me and I can pull them with me underwater.
So, I have some bad news. Valnir tries to swim and he drops his bulges of air. And if someone doesn't do something, he might drown before he can make it to the surface.
Okay.
And it seems like he's starting to panic and thrashing about, unable to get a sense of which way is up as the current's trying to push him along.
I'll fly down there. I can get to him quicker than anybody. Being
Yeah, I was
gonna
say you're
so
fastest,
I'll
and
go
I
there.
I'll follow along, but obviously Cheryl's going to be faster.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and swim to him and get him to like I don't know, grab the front of, like, how the manta rays are shaped, kind of grab in front of me, but not where my flippers are, and try and pull them along if I can.
So does it look like a manta ray is trying to grab me?
I'm not really trying to grab you. I'm trying to maneuver next to you so that you can grab a hold of me.
I understand that, but you look like a manta ray right now, right?
Yeah. Do you not like fish?
I don't know if that's hostile or not. I'm not a person of the water.
Well, and I'll be swimming relatively. I obviously Shrill's there, but I'm also going back there too because, I could breathe underwater.
So the manta ray approaches Valnir.
I'll trust it for the moment. I was going to roll high or low. If I rolled low, I was going to attack it. If I rolled high, I was going to follow it.
Okay. So what are you doing with the manta ray?
Trying to grab onto it.
Okay. You try to grab onto it. Because you're getting turned about from the current, I'm going to have you roll a grapple check. You're able to grab onto the manta ray. Now, what is Shellracket's strength?
Super high of 7.
I get a -2 my mod.
Okay. And what is Valnir's weight with his?
So 193 pounds.
Okay. So you manage to grab onto the manta ray, and you guys sort of right yourself on the bottom, but you're starting to lose air about there.
Well, I'm going to hold my breath. So that way.
So it's not working then?
And remember, I'm also swimming there too, but I don't know how fast I can.
So with Shellracket's help, you're able to fight against the current and walk along the bottom for a bit until Utmal gets to you.
Do I see any of those bulges like floating around on the ground on the floor of the seabed anywhere? I can kind of maneuver him over.
You do not see any of those. It seems like they were cultivated in the wine cellar that you have.
No, I mean the ones that he dropped.
They are swept away by the current. Down there?
I'm up there. Oh,
How
go
long
ahead.
would it take me to walk across the bottom here? I don't even know where we're going. Like, you're telling me that I know I can see underwater just because I have dark vision, but I can't really. I don't know which way I must be going, so I'm not sure where.
So you were in the tunnel. Everyone tried to swim out of the tunnel up towards the other island, and you sort of got swept away in the current a little bit, and you managed to right yourself with the help of this strange manta ray. I'd say about 40 feet away from the hole that you exited the tunnel from.
I'm pointing up to try to get him to at least get up into, so he can breathe and swim.
I'll try to start heading in the direction we were going, and I'll make another swim check trying to get up there.
Okay.
See if I can get 3 ones tonight.
Remember, there is no sun underwater.
I did 1 better than a 1. I got a 2 this time.
Unfortunately, you're not able to make much progress, and with the help of Shellracket the manta ray, you're able to avoid getting swept away, but you only make it a couple of feet.
All right, am I close enough to help him now?
Yes.
All right, I help Valnir.
Help. I mean, glub glub.
So, you get another swim check because they're helping you along.
Wow.
You start heading towards the surface. You're able to get off the bottom of the ocean floor. A lot of your gear is pulling you back down, but with the help, you're able to make your way to the surface. It, as you go, the your lungs burn. You want to breathe. You're trying to hold on as best you can, and I'm gonna have you make one Constitution check to see if you start drowning before you breach the surface. You unfortunately can't hold your breath. You take in a gulp of water and start spasming and sputtering as you break the surface of the water, choking on the water in your lungs. So you do manage to make it out. You're able to find yourselves. So Rin and Shilrak. Rin is over here where the green is, while everyone else sort of over here due to the current carrying them.
Okay.
But you guys are both able to get to the cliff face.
I'll run over.
He's looking for
Okay.
the blanket.
So Ren heads over to the group, and you guys are all soaked and drenched. It takes a while for the cloak of the manta ray to dry off and Shilrak to become not a manta ray again.
Can I take it off to speed the process up?
You may.
I would like to take the cloak off.
Okay, you take the cloak off.
Wait, hold on. The cloak of the manta ray adheres to the individual, so no, I can't actually do that.
Well,
So
you can with a high enough strength check. You might lose some skin with it.
Go, Goblin, with your -2.
I'll wait.
Okay. So
Oh,
you'll
it's-
wait. The sun, it is like a tropical island, so, and it's quite warm. The sun is nice and shining, and you're able to take it off without getting any damage. And you guys are now at the purple dot.
Yeehaw! What time is it?
For you guys in game though, it's probably around 3 to 3:30.
So let's walk to where the camp is supposed to be.
Okay.
Where's
You guys-
the camp supposed to
Round over here.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's go make haste to that campsite.
Are you going to try and climb up the cliff face and go across to it? Or are
Search
you
for a
going-
path.
Yes. Which way is the better path? Is it going that way, or is it or do we think
would
it's this way?
I would like to attempt to search for a path of some kind to make it easier to make a movement.
I also will do
Okay.
the same thing.
Okay. You're able to
25.
You're able to find a path going up, and you reason you could walk along the cliffside, sticking close to the edge of the water, but as to which way is faster, you'd need to roll a knowledge nature check.
Alright, I will try to do the nature check.
With what you know about the coast, you can't guarantee there will be footing along Path A that I labeled. So you think maybe heading up and over would be the safer route, but you also know heading up a cliffside, it uses a lot of energy. It's going to be most likely the longer route.
But I would think it would be a more guaranteed and quote-unquote safer route.
You think that Path B is safer, but will take longer because you have to climb up the cliffside. While A, there's no guarantee that you will have a path that continues that way, and it seems to go along the side of the cliff, but it would be faster if there was one.
I'll tell the group, from what I can see, going up and across straight through will probably be the safest, but it'll probably take a little bit longer. Are you guys okay with that?
Currently like laid out wherever we beached at, and I'm like kind of just resting, getting my breath back, letting my lungs stop burning. So I haven't really moved from where we beached. I'm kind of relaxing while y'all been exploring.
I think he's gonna need a minute.
Well, yeah, but we could decide where we want to move while he's waiting, while he's resting.
I mean,
Anywhere that I don't have to do a lot of climbing or strenuous right now would probably be for the best.
Yeah, but do you want to risk having to swim?
I'll just rest here until y'all find somewhere you can climb and put a rope on it, and then I'll climb up.
I mean, there's a path right there. The path is
Yeah,
the problem. We gotta go up.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
not a
path.
climb, there's a path. It's longer.
Because we're going kind
Up.
of diagonally up the hill.
I'll
Yeah.
take the longer path then.
Alright. So, I think we've chosen to go path B.
Okay. You take path B, and you find yourselves above the cove, sort of, well, around, all the way on the top, up there. And as night falls, where the purple is.
Okay.
I'm looking. Oh, there's the purple.
You judge that it would be about a 25 foot drop without doing anything to really measuring it, just eyeballing it into the water below. You see what looks to be a nice little hidden beach amongst the cliffside of the southern end of the isle. There's a couple of buildings that are set up, and
the
you
power
can see
switch
the
is right
pier
there.
and a giant black shield with a giant black dragon scale that seems to absorb the light around it.
Do we see any way to get down?
There's an easy answer and a not so easy answer.
Is
The
the
easy
easy
answer
answer
is
to jump?
you could jump into the water, but you also see movement down along the beach. You see a bunch of creatures that seem to have been in various stages of rot wandering around, and you'd have to roll a check to be able to see if you could make out any discerning features.
Tell me what said check is. I will do that roll.
It'll be a spot check.
Spotting. The sun is strong at night.
Unfortunately, it's a bit too dark for you guys to really make it out. Okay.
So you said there's an easy way to get down, and I'm assuming that's the jump into the water thing. What is the hard way to get down?
Well, you could jump onto the sand.
Oh, by hard you meant splat.
Yes.
I don't like
You
that
could
idea.
also try to, if you have the supplies, make your own route down. So standard rope sizes tend to be about 50 feet of rope, I believe.
Yeah.
You said it's about a 25-foot drop?
Eyeballing it without any checks, you think it's somewhere between 20 to 25 feet.
So we could tie... Is there a tree or something nearby?
You know that there's a number of large boulders that you could try using as an anchor. A bit further back, however, there are a few trees here and there.
We could try tying my rope, and I'll kind of hold up this big coil of rope. We could try tying my rope to a boulder or a tree, flinging it over the side and climbing down. However, whatever's down there might not be too kind to seeing us climbing down, scaling the side of the cliff face.
How has it been since we got ashore?
So the sun is setting. It's been setting for a while now. You have maybe about 3 or 4 minutes left of light before it becomes night fully.
Okay, but how long have we been out of the water? Like how
About
long
6
has it
hours.
Yeah, about 6 hours.
So is it long enough to have dried off? Like everything of mine to have dried off?
Yes.
Because I also have rope that I can contribute to make this longer if we need to.
Okay. It depends on which anchor you want to use.
I just didn't know how well a saltwater soaked rope would have done, and if it had still been wet. That's why I was checking on that.
Yeah, you could have dried it off in this time.
If you want to tie the rope off, use mine as well. Give it plenty of length, and we can actually create knots along the way. That way it'll be easier to climb down. And then I'll go first in case there's anything down there not friendly.
Okay.
I
So
will be
when
the
you-
last one to climb down because
Well-
I will not feel too bad about jumping into the water if need be.
Before we do this, who's good at using rope? 'Cause there's
I'm
actually skill-
more likely to jump into the water than I am to climb down the damn thing.
Well, that's you. I'm not fond of jumping in the water at this moment.
I have a 4 in my use rope check, so
Brought our silent rope hero guy.
I have a +3, and that's because of my deck score.
we make Rin do it. Rin, can you make the knots in the rope?
Okay. You are able to make knots in the rope and tie the 2 pieces of rope together. Now, are you going to go for a stronger anchor further away from the edge of the cliff, or are you going to risk it with tying it to a smaller tree that's closer, or are you going to do the wild card of tying it to a boulder?
Tie it to a strong anchor because we got 100 foot right now, so that should be enough.
Agreed.
Okay. Anyone else have an opinion?
I'm jumping.
Okay.
Good luck.
While you're deciding, Eltumal jumps into the water. And
I'm gonna palm my forehead and be like, "That moron."
And I stay underwater until they until they go down.
you splash into the water and land underneath, and you find underneath the water the wreckage of what seems to be a half-completed boat.
Woo!
I guess we're gonna try and throw the rope down somewhere over this way, maybe.
Probably
Okay.
most sense.
So you throw the rope down, and let me just make a little rope for you guys.
Yeah,
Sure.
that works.
Okay.
Is this area right here deep enough for me to kind of stay underwater without anyone noticing?
Yes. However, right about this area, you would have to crouch, and then here onward, you would have to crawl.
I'm okay being right there. I just want to be with them, ish. But I, if I pop my head up, which shouldn't be too much of an issue there, do I see anything in this direction?
Roll a spot check.
And I'm still +1. Woo! Which has not been helping me. Jesus Christ.
Woof.
Nah, it's just a
The guy
bit.
who's rolled like multiple 1s and 2s tonight.
It's a 3, it's fine.
Unfortunately, it's just a bit too dark for you to make out any features. However, you are able to see two creatures shambling over here, and then you see some other figure cloaked in darkness over by the shield.
I guess we'll start with Valnir going down the rope first.
I will climb down the knotted rope.
Okay. So, Valnir, your token.
And then I presume
And you climb down without issue.
Ren will go next, unless he wants me to go next. I'd prefer that he goes, though.
Get you?
Valnir, now that you're at the bottom of the rope, you can roll a spot check again. Okay. Rin makes it down the rope without any issues. And I'm moving Shellracket over.
Shellracket
Okay.
looks at the rope nervously.
So, Valnir, you're able to make out the features of two of the shambling things on the sand. One of them looks to be a half-decayed gnoll, while the other one seems to be a half-decayed human, but they happen to have a arm covered in a large arm that seems disproportionate to their body. It has a claw at one end of it instead of a hand, and it seems to be infested with maggots and
Ugh.
covered in pus.
That sounds gross.
That's yours.
I rolled for my climb check.
Yeah, you're okay.
Hooray!
You had the best climb check of the 3.
Well, I guess I'm going to start sauntering my way over to that bridge, and I'm going to attempt to see if I can focus my mind while I'm heading that direction.
I will start crawling, or not crawling, but kneeling so that I am here, but still underwater.
Okay.
I definitely got my psionic focus on.
Yes, you do. You are
And-
very focused. You are in the zone.
And I have everyone who is. I'm assuming that this is correct for 5 feet for each square.
Yes.
Okay. I have my power up, so everyone.
Are you guys trying to hide?
No, I'm
I'm hiding
around
under the
side of
water.
river.
I would like to hide.
Okay, anyone who is hiding or wants to hide, roll a hide check.
Ren and I have chosen to hide.
And you are well hidden.
I'm okay.
Yep.
Wow. Plus 10?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dex, a
Ren
magic
still got a better
item,
roll.
and very high. I also get a class bonus to hide.
You could say Utmal moonlights as a stealth archer in a different land,
Yeah.
inhabited by lords.
If these things were alive, I'd be.
Hidden, except Valnir, who has not rolled a hide check.
He is chosen.
So far, the things seem to ignore Valnir, who might be the only things they can see right now. Or maybe they just don't have good enough vision to see.
While I'm still walking towards them, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cast Force Screen on myself, and I'll move another 20 feet.
I'm gonna attempt to cast Lesser Bull Strength on Rin.
Okay, so Rin will get a +1 miscellaneous modifier to strength for a while. Okay, I put it in for Rin, so any macros that use strength will be updated.
Okay.
Archaic, you with us?
Yep.
Okay.
Are the bad guys still oblivious at the moment? Can I keep moving, or are they starting to react?
They are still oblivious at the moment.
I
Alright.
think we
I'm going
need
to go
to
ahead
start.
and cast Biofeedback next and walk another.
Okay. And are you trying to be stealthy about it?
Oh no, I'm not worried about stealth.
Okay. So we're gonna roll initiative. So they spot you. One of them sort of lets out a gargling yell, alerting the others to your presence. And that is going to be the start of combat.